we had a plan that we had an architect in the church draw up for us. I can't think of his name either right now. Maybe your mother will know.
It wasn't Mike Benning, was it?
No. So anyway, we started building the house, and you know, the first thing I had to do was start tearing down portions of the house.
Right.
And he just wasn't working fast enough to suit me. And I kept threatening him and threatening him. And he kept wanting to get an advance. And so one day I was in the backyard talking to him. And he said, and I mean, I was having all these problems with him, you know, trying to get his guys to work late and, you know, let's get this job done before it starts raining. And so anyway, he was standing there. He said, well, tomorrow is it was like a Thursday or Wednesday. He said, my father's in a nursing home down in somewhere down Fort Myers area. And he said, I'd like to go down and see him. I said, well, Howard, I said, I was going to talk to you about that today, as a matter of fact. I said, the way I see it, you're way behind on your draws, or way ahead on your draws. And I just don't think you are capable of finishing this job on a timely basis without going way over my budget.
Right.
And I said, so if you've got a bill for me that you think is reasonable, legitimate, give it to me, and I'll see what I feel like I owe you out of it. He said, you're firing me? And I said, oh yeah. I said, and so he was like, just couldn't believe it. I said, Howard, I said, we had to redo the front face of the house twice now. And we're having to do the back supports for a second time. I said, and the only reason we didn't have to do it worse is because I caught all the mistakes that y'all had. I said, I caught the architect's mistake, and I caught your mistake on putting those open, you know, sliding windows in the front of the house upstairs.
Uh-huh.
They had put them in, were starting to put them in 2 feet too far back.
Oh.
So that room would have only been like 12 feet wide.
Oh.
And
which would have been the width of a carpet.
well, that's true, but anyway, that was the other thing. You know, the carpet didn't fit.
What do you mean the carpet didn't fit?
It was 14 feet. What'd you say, Linda?
Because we made it bigger.
Yeah, because we had made it bigger. It was,
Oh, then you had to have a seam, you mean?
yeah. So anyway, we finally got through all that, and we didn't have a balcony rail upstairs, and I was trying to find somebody that could build me a balcony rail. And the other thing I wanted to do was put that fireplace that I had taken out of the old part of the house, and I was going to reuse the same fireplace.
Uh-huh.
And so this first guy, this is after Howard was gone, this first guy that was recommended to me was, he made the doors for the cabinets for the under of the windows. And I was not happy with him at all. So he said, he said, now what did you want me to do next? I said, I think you've taken care of it. And he hung the doors for the gun closet. And if you remember what those doors looked like going up in those cabinets, they were just a sheet of plywood that had hinges on them.
Right.
That was not what I wanted. So anyway, I got rid of him, and he was supposed to do the fireplace, and he told me, and he was gonna do the balcony. And he said, you can't do a balcony rail that long. It just won't stay in place. I said, well, I don't believe that. And I said, I can do it. And so I asked him, he said, and we can't cut a big square hole in your roof because that won't fit either. We can't reinforce it right. So I said, well, I'll let you know something. So I put that whole thing in the ceiling of the Florida room by myself.
Man.
Mom, when can I pause the video?
What did you say you did by yourself?
Put that fireplace in the Florida room.
I
Can
was
I
afraid
Mom
you.
helped do the rail.
Can I do the
Oh, yes.
Mom, can I pause the video?
Yes, you can pause the video.